Friends of the San Francisco Public Library. Hello. And welcome to the 2016 Library Laureates. Thank you all for being here to celebrate the 20th birthday of this inspiring building, and within it to honor our wonderful cast of authors, our laureates, and Mrs. Roselyne Chroman Swig, our great champion of the arts, culture, and education. Yes. I would also like to welcome State Senator Mark Leno, State Assemblyman Phil Tang, and Supervisor Scott Wiener. Thank you for taking your time to be here. And I'm also honored to take a moment to thank the people who made it possible for us to be here in this very quintessentially San Francisco event. First is our fabulous event chairs, Camilla Smith and Donna Miller-Casey, and the members of the event committee, as well as Lori Burke, Friends Associate Director of Individual Giving. Yes. And financially, we could not be here without our host committee and our benefactor sponsors, who are Chronicle Books, Corrette Foundation, Microsoft Corporation, Wells Fargo, Donna Miller-Casey, Dagmar Dolby, Senator Dianne Feinstein and Richard Blum, David and Vicki Fleischacker, John and Marcia Goldman, Katie Hall and Tom Knutson, Lucy Jewett, Sarah and Jason Jones, Lydia Shorenstein, Camilla and George Smith, Roselyne Chroman Swig and the Swig family, and Ingrid Tauber and Frank Tafaro. We also thank our esteemed library laureates, the best and the brightest stars of our literary world, for sharing their time, their books, and their insights while we dine in the wonderful library salons upstairs in just a short moment. And of course, we have a huge debt of gratitude to our partners for life, the San Francisco Public Library, City Librarian Luis Herrera, and the amazing staff who has allowed us to dine together in this very special way. And you will enjoy a wonderful dinner presented by Paula LeDuc, who has been incredibly generous to us at this event. So what brings us all here tonight is our premier San Francisco Public Library. I'm very proud to be here representing Friends, who for 55 years have lived its mission to support the library through advocacy and raising funds, providing critical programs throughout San Francisco neighborhoods that are free and accessible. And I hope you observe tonight the many ways that Friends has impacted the lives of San Franciscans and continue to support our important work. Together, we've helped the libraries obtain stable funding through the Library Preservation Fund and your generous donations. Over the past 20 years, the main and the neighboring neighborhood branches have been updated for the 21st century with new technology, accessibility, and green features. And we now look forward to the evolution of our libraries as vibrant community spaces. So we welcome you tonight to discuss at your table what a library was to you 20 years ago, what it is today, and your own dreams for what a library will look like in 20 years. So to move us on tonight, I am pleased to introduce two very important people, our city librarian, Luis Herrera, and the chair of the Board of Friends, Charles Higueras.
Thank you, Marie. I am so honored to be your city librarian and to be here and welcome everyone to this beautiful building that will celebrate its 20th anniversary on April 18th of this year, next month. And you know, before the city built this fantastic library, our library system was in jeopardy. City budget cuts were freezing the library's ability to buy books, have any materials, and the mayor at the time actually floated the idea to staff that our neighborhood libraries should be staffed with retirees and volunteers instead of professional librarians. But our honoree, Mrs. Roselyne Chroman Swig, as well as our event co-chaired Donna Miller-Casey and Steve Coulter, who I also see in the audience, were library commissioners at the time, and that idea didn't sit well with them. They will forever go down in library lore as library heroes who will not settle for a second-class library system. Mrs. Swig said, and I quote from the Library Commission minutes, "The commission should stand for quality libraries, and the public expectation of libraries should be raised, not lowered." After which she and the rest of the commission, save one, were fired by the mayor for their insubordination. Soon thereafter, thanks to strong advocacy efforts by the Friends, The community voted for the Library Preservation Fund, which put the library on more stable funding to become a premier urban library. Today, as you all know, the library has fully renovated 24 of its neighborhood branches. We know that we've done a fantastic job with restoring our jewel Carnegie libraries, our WPA buildings, 16 renovations, and 8 new buildings throughout our city. Our libraries are safe and welcoming. They're places where our community can learn, they can experience art and culture, and improve and enrich their lives. It is indeed a world-class library, thanks to the dedicated effort and support from our city, and especially people like Mrs. Swig. Tonight, we are very proud to honor Mrs. Roselyne Chroman Swig with a proclamation for the mayor, Mayor Ed Lee, that celebrates her many years of service and contributions as a champion of the arts, certainly serving as chair of the San Francisco Art Institute. She's on the board of SF MoMA, formerly at the Arts Commission, as well as extraordinary community service, and certainly her dedicated efforts to helping us make this library a valued treasure and community asset. So I want to call Mrs. Swig up to the stage. And suffice to say that there are many, many, many whereases, and I'm not going to read them all. But be it resolved that today, March 18th, 2016, be named Roselyne Chroman Swig Day in San Francisco. How's that? Congratulations. We're so proud of you. Charles?
Okay, one more. Thank you. Hello, everyone. As many, if not all of you know, Mrs. Swig has been the recipient of many well-deserved accolades, including those from the SF Arts Institute, the Jewish Community Federation, and the Museum of Performance and Design. Representatives from these organizations, as well as others, are here tonight. Mrs. Swig, we are pleased to present you in gratitude for your support of Friends. This original illustration, thank you, by one of our laureates, Christian Robinson, which he created as part of the themed promotional materials for the library's upcoming Summer Learning Program, a program that is funded by Friends and that is emblematic of the value that you place on art, culture, and education. Thank you to Christian, and most of all to you, Mrs. Swig, for all that you've done for our library system. Thank you. Very welcome. Someone wants to take a picture of that? Yeah, there you go. Oh, I hate when that happens. Toss that. Thank you. Now, it's your turn to say a few words. Yeah, another picture.
Thank you so much.
Please, Mrs. Swig.
Well, I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed for so many reasons, and they're all pluses. They're all pluses. Most of all, I just want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank Camilla Smith, along with Donna Miller Casey, who are co-chairs for tonight. I want to thank Lori Burke, who she's an incredible organizer, and she has been so thoughtful to me and to my family and to my friends in getting us all organized, and I really am overwhelmed. And I just want to thank everybody for being here, for those who are here, for those who are not able to be here, to thank you for really understanding the value that is in this building, and to be so generous and so supportive. You're really amplifying, and I love that word. You're really amplifying your desire for this Maine and the neighborhood libraries to be strong and functioning. And for that, to me, it's thrilling to see how much you treasure and value these sources of knowledge that make access available to all. I'm so touched by this honor, and because I know that there are so many people in this room or who are not able to come who are as deserving as you've made me feel. And I want to thank all of you. As you heard, and I really appreciate the fact that you spoke about what Steve Coulter and Donna, Casey, and I did when we were commissioners. I really wasn't going to share that at this evening, but I feel good about the fact that they have shared that, because what we did was stick to our values. We represent the city. We were honored to be elected to that position by the mayor, but we had values, and we had to project those strongly. And so I want to thank Donna and Steve for that moment in time, and also tell you how appreciative we are that the library has grown so. I value the words of Andrew Carnegie, who as a young boy in the 19th century, working in the iron mills in Pennsylvania, experienced the freedom to enjoy books and the knowledge that he gained. I'd like to quote him. "The windows were opened in the walls of my dungeon, through which the light of knowledge streamed in. Every day's toil and hours of night service were lightened by the book which I carried about with me, and which would have, and that I read in intervals that could be snatched from my duty. Books which would have been impossible for me to obtain elsewhere. And these were placed within my reach," unquote. These words were at the base of Carnegie's decision in his adult years to create a system that would outlive the people who built it, carefully codifying the terms of support that he would later provide to a community. The Carnegie formula is this: recipients must demonstrate the need for a public library. They must provide a building site. They must commit to raising funds and allocating taxes, to dedicating an amount equivalent to 10% of the library's construction annually to its operation, and to promise free service to all. San Francisco has built an amazing contemporary library for which we should all be very proud. And we have, through advocacy and determination and personal and financial commitment, succeeded in constructing, maintaining, and sharing a neighborhood library system that represents our commitment and our respect for all of our citizens, young and old alike, and the diversity and the multiculturalism of which we are so proud. Reviving the Library Laureates event is a joy, and I've been so looking forward to enjoying this evening with everybody. So I want to thank you, all my family. I've got so many members of my family here tonight. I'm so proud and so happy. And to all my friends, and all of you are my friends. And I just love the fact that we're all together. And to thank you, really, for warming my heart with your presence. I want to thank our laureates for the pleasure of your company and for enriching our lives with your words and the opportunity to interact with you in this beautiful and this very personal environment. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mrs. Swig. You are a true inspiration to us all. I do want to seize on this moment, though, as a former library commissioner, I do want to take this opportunity to recognize some of the current library commissioners who follow on the legacy of Mrs. Swig. Susan Mall is here this evening. Susan. Zoe Dunning. Teresa Ono. I do want to also acknowledge a couple of folks from my era. Steve Coulter, who was mentioned previously. I believe I saw Lonnie Chin. And of course, where's Jewel? My Jewel. Jewel Gomez. These are all folks who do great duty and service to this community. They're volunteers. So please, a round of appreciation for them.
Good evening, everybody. Really quick, our silent auction right here, we are closing in 1 minute. By the way, I'm Abra, I'm your auctioneer. That's why I'm telling you this. So you have exactly 60 seconds to turn around, pick up a pen, and make a bid. So we're going to count it down. So this is the time where you turn around and you move over here. Okay, so 60 seconds. And then we're going to send you up to your salons. It's the countdown. There's some fabulous stuff there. Private tour of the Mark Twain collection and archive. We have a beautiful trip. We have a pair of Warriors tickets who might break the Chicago Bulls records. We got 30 seconds on the clock. It's okay. Fight your way through the crowd. Make your way. We're about at 20 seconds. "15 seconds. "10, we're gonna count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The silent auction is now closed, unless, of course, you have a higher bid than the person in front of you, in which case you can bid on it. And ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd like to ask you to now start making your way to your salons. If you're not sure which salon you're in, it is on the back of your name tag. And we will see you in your salon.
Grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear that pitter-pat? And that happy tune is your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with my blues on parade, but I'm not afraid. This rover crossed over. If I never had a cent, I'd be rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street.